I started working with ceramics in 2013 when I moved to London. I went to Hackney City Farm to do pottery course. What I remember the most, the moment I sat on the wheel and the guy who ran it started yelling, "You are clay, you are clay, you are clay." And I was like, oh my God, I am clay. My name is Bisila Noha. I'm a ceramicist and this is my studio. I don't have a formal art education. It's like a minefield. I'm constantly bringing in things that I'm seeing or learning into the way I make.
The shape of this pot has got a bit out of control.
Initially, it was mixing clays that have been considered like better throughout history, like porcelain with earthenware and like clays from Africa, from my dad's village. So I guess it's a very eclectic approach to it that some people might be very annoyed by. Throwing is the process of making on the potter's wheel. You throw the ball of clay and use the momentum to build up. Historically, hand building was the first technique, mostly used by women, like in homewares in their houses, in community, etc. The moment the wheel comes in, and industrialization and mass production, hand building, in all of these processes that are seen perhaps as very domestic, are not valued equally. In recent years, I've been very interested in mixing, throwing, and coiling because there's, again, a bit of like a hierarchy of techniques. So I really like bringing them both together on the same level. I really love this part of the process. Very relaxing. January 2020, I started a project to embrace my identity as a mixed-race woman from Spain and Equatorial Guinea. And also looking into like all of the unnamed women of clay throughout history that have been making pots whose labor has been completely disregarded. I was looking for shapes that could convey the story and represent my two backgrounds, and then I came across the two-legged vessel. I assumed that there was not a single individual behind it, like a name attributed to it, but rather that it belonged to a culture or a group, the same way that African art has generally been recorded. Throughout the research, I was also making a set of pieces to represent that search through the clay. This one, as you can see, I've already done the sculpting. It's in the process of going bone dry, as we call it, which means it's like completely dry to go into the firing. So now I'm just gonna smoothen the surface to just leave it finished to go into the kiln once it's a bit more dry. I made two pieces using that shape, and it was about 6 months later. I looked a little bit further, I realized that there was a name behind it, and it was a woman's name, Kouame Kakahá, from a village in Ivory Coast, and and also like that the piece had been made around the 90s, so that meant that she could still be alive. I felt terrible. I felt like I had betrayed another woman, another black woman. So then I decided to go to Ivory Coast, to her village. So I had been told that she had passed away, so I wasn't sure what I was gonna find when I could get there. When we arrived, like me and the interpreter were at the village, at the pottery, and I asked, I'm here to try to find information about this woman, Kouame Kakahá. And then the guy was like, oh yeah, she's around, she'll come later. I was like, what do you mean? Like, she's dead. I was so nervous because I was like, oh my day, that I'm gonna meet this woman, and what am I gonna say? Then we sat to talk and I couldn't stop crying. I apologized to her. I was showing her the work to explain what I had done, and she was like, please make her stop crying. And then she said, it's fine, like, there's nothing to apologize for. I'm very grateful that I got to meet her and actually then make something together, and I gave her a pot when I left. Sharing space with all of these unnamed women of clay, and by having the chance to talk to her and make, and all of I looked for with my work was in real life in front of me.